Today we're going to do an alcohol ink painting with a little overlay of green acrylic. We're going to start with Ranger alcohol inks. I've got Aquamarine, Cobalt, Mermaid, and Citrus. And I'm just sort of layering them on. And then adding 99% alcohol. And I'll be using an electronic air duster. And I'm just going to move the ink around, apply alcohol as needed to get it to where I like it. And just keep blowing. It's very abstract, no rules. These are really super rich, vibrant colors. When this is done, it reminds me of a peacock, actually. So I'm gonna just keep layering and moving it in the direction I want it to go. Move the paper around to make it easier for you to blow it so you're not doing it at weird angles. And the only thing that I did here that I stuck to, I just kind of put the colors down in whatever manner I felt, but I always had the green at the bottom. And this is citrus green, which is my favorite. And all of these colors work really, really well together. It's like a jewelry box. Don't be afraid to go back over what you've done with alcohol and blow it out. It'll create some really nice textures and waves. And a lot of this is going to get blown around even more once we put the acrylic down. And this acrylic that I'm using is actually for acrylic pours. That color right there is just a really almost a neon color, but as citric pours, the acrylics are a little bit thinned out, and as you can see, that's going to create a really pretty pattern, give it a lot of dimension. And I'm just going to apply to the base. I will be adding alcohol to it. The alcohol is what makes it sort of create these cells. You'll see in a minute when I go close up. And I keep the air a little bit at a distance here because I don't want the acrylic just being blasted across the room. It's like I say, thinned out, so it doesn't really take a whole lot of air. I'm going to keep adding until I get to where I really like it. And here I'm adding more citrus, alcohol ink, a little more acrylic. back in with citrus and adding a little air to move it around. If you hear any screaming in the background, I have macaws and cockatoos. And they can get loud. So here, a little bit of cleanup in aisle 9. And then I'm gonna put some, I believe that was Mermaid, into a palette, mix it with a little bit of alcohol, take a brush, and then I'm just going to apply it certain areas of the bottom part of the painting. Well, the bottom part of the flower, I should say. Create a little more interest and dimension. Typically with these paintings, I will also add a color that's on the opposite side of the color wheel from the main colors. So in this case, it might be an orange or red, but I didn't here. I might still, after everything dries. The acrylic is going to take a while to dry. So typically I let it sit overnight, and then I might go back in with some markers and add a little orange. When you add a color, even just a little dot of it, your eye sees it and is drawn into the painting even more. This painting already has a lot going on as far as colors, but it might be kind of nice to add a little splash of something unexpected. And then going on to the stem, used a brush for the stem, and ultimately I didn't like it. It kind of feathered. And usually the stem is something that I pay a lot of attention to. On this one I didn't do so much. I may go back and do a little bit more, but I brushed on some alcohol inks in, I don't know if that was Aquamarine. It might have been Mermaid. And then some citrus. It was kind of pretty, but I just really didn't like the shape of it. So I wind up going back in and use a little Caliart art markers, which are alcohol ink. And these are my go-to markers. I really like them. They're dual side, so they have a wide angle side and then they have a fine point. And then I just kind of cleaned this up a little bit because it was feathering in a weird way. And I think I might have preferred doing a really thin stem on this, but all in all, I was happy with it. And like I said, I might go in and play around a little bit more with it, maybe do like a braided design. And then I went in, added a little citrus with the brush. And just sort of blend in that And then a little more mermaid. Like I said, I may go back in and just kind of fine tune that a bit, but I'll wait until after everything dries. But all in all, this was a fun little project, and I'm just so thrilled with these colors. I hope you have an opportunity to give it a try. If you do, please let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.